I'm Justin Davis, and this is Joe Camp's RC. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today it's all about chargers, and we're going to go through some various chargers here. I'm going to give you my recommendations for you. If you're just getting into the hobby, this is going to give you an idea of what's out there in the world of LiPo chargers. Now we're going to start off with some of my favorites, and those are the portable chargers. You can also get an AC adapter to hook these up to the wall and charge right on your bench, or you can take a battery out in the field and charge from a larger battery and charge all your smaller batteries at once. And your other option is going to be a bench charger, which is a dedicated bench charger which has an external power supply. Something like the Hobby King Quattro has 4 ports on it. You can charge multiple batteries at once with this one. And we're also going to talk about the Hobby Mate multi-charger. This has a built-in power supply, so no need to have an external power supply sitting next to this charger. It has one built into it, so a very cool charger. We're going to look at all these on the bench, and I'll help you decide which one might be right for you. So first we're going to start out with the portable LiPo chargers, and these are some of my favorites, mainly because you have 2 options with a lot of these. You have AC charging possibilities and you have DC charging. So that means that you can plug it into the wall with an adapter. You can get the adapters available, and I'll show you one of these here in a second on the bench, but you can also charge from a battery. So if you have another battery out there that has an XT60 on it, you can plug this battery right into your charger and charge from a larger battery to your smaller battery. And that's a really nice option when you're out in the field or if you're flying for the day. What I usually do is I take a 4S 16,000 milliamp out with me, I set it next to my chair, and I charge my batteries while I fly. And both of these have a power voltage range of 9 volt all the way up to 32 volts. So I can easily run a 4 and a 5S battery on both of these types of chargers, and I can charge pretty much most of the day while I'm flying. But it does look very similar to the iSDT Smart Charger SC608. This is 150 watts worth of charging power, and this one's actually 200 watts. So Ultra Power seems like they stepped up the game on this size portability. It looks very, very extremely similar to the SC608, but it has just a little more power for charging your LiPos. And here you can take a look at them from the back. They both do sport fans on the very bottom and plenty of venting down here so they don't overheat while charging. I have heard reports of people having the 608 get overheated for them, and if it starts to smell like popcorn, that's a good time to check on your little LiPo charger and make sure that it's not overheating and starts to melt the components inside. Now, as soon as you plug in a battery to this charger, it's actually going to give you all the information there about the particular battery that you have plugged in. So right now I can see, before I even have to look at this battery on the sticker right here, it does tell me that this is a 5S battery. It shows me 5 cells right there, and it shows me the balance equation of each cell for that individual cell. So I know I'm at a pretty healthy cell rate there. There's not much deviation in voltage. You don't want to see a huge drop in your cell voltage from cell to cell. So if you see a drastic reduction in one of your cells, it means that you might have a cell going bad. So I also have some information here. It tells me the current voltage in the battery, and when we start charging, it's going to show me how much amps are going into the battery. It also shows me the battery capacity that we have added to the battery since the charge has started. And right now it says 8 milliamps, but that's not quite correct because we haven't started yet. But we can go ahead and use this front jog wheel. Click on that, and it's going to take you to what type of battery you like to charge. You can do LiPos, you can do LiFe, you can do Lions, you can do HV LiPos, you can do nickel metal and cadmium there, and you can do the PV batteries. But I'm going to go back up to LiPo, and it already sets to 5S. You can all go all the way up to 6S, and most of you guys are charging 4S, so you can also do that. And you can do the charge mode, which is going to be charge. You can also do discharge or storage charge. If you know you're going on vacation for a long time, probably a good idea to do discharge or storage charge. And the current, we're going to do 2 amps on this to be safe. I have a 1300 milliamp, and that's totally fine. We can do the voltage here for the individual cell. What my target voltage is going to be 4.20, and that's pretty standard for your LiPo, your 4S or 5S LiPos and LiPos in general. So we can go ahead and do start right now, and it's going to show me the information. Once it starts pushing some amps in, you're going to see that amp increase on the right there, your elapsed time, the current voltage in each cell, which is really cool, and how many milliamps we're adding to the battery. If I click on that again, I can go back and I can change the current on the fly. just like the iSDT chargers do. I can up that or I can slow it down. If the battery starts to feel warm, it's probably a good idea to back off the amps. You might be putting too much amps into your battery, or you can go back here to the main screen, or you can stop it. And up at the very top of the screen, you see it says Lipo 5S charge, 99% charged. So I also like it that they have a percentage of charge into the battery. So I know this battery is 1% away from being charged. Pretty sweet Lipo charger. And I'm just gonna go ahead and click on that wheel. I'm gonna stop it. I'm gonna pull this battery off, and I wanna show you the SC608. It is almost identical in the way that it works. And I'm just gonna plug in the power source here. And I'll show you that bench AC adapter for these in just a minute when we show you the Q6 that I have over here to my right. So now we're on with this screen, and I kind of like the screen on the UP610 a little bit better. It seems like everything is a little bit bigger than this screen, so if you need glasses, that's probably going to be a better charger for you, the newer one, the ultra power charger. So we're going to plug in the balance port right here, and let's see if I can get this right. All the way over to the right there, or to the left, plug in my battery. And now this is a 5S, so it does show me the same type of information there on the screen. You see that? It does show me all the same voltage there for the cells, and I have the battery voltage, you have the current amp and the milliamp that's currently in the battery. So you also do get a percentage rate of charge. So we're gonna go 5S, and we can ramp that up to 2.0. Okay, and we're going to do regular LiPo. We're going to do a standard charge, and there it is. It's starting to charge. And this LiPo is pretty much all the way done. So while this one's charging, it's also going to show you a blue screen. So if I click on that again, it's beeping because this charge is all done, and it's going to show you a green screen. But like I said, this was the first one that came out by iSDT, and it's been out for over a year now, and a lot of people like these. I know people that have had them burn out on them, and this was one of the first ones that came out. I probably got what would be a prototype at the time when this came out, and mine still works. So, but you can get a bad one. It does happen, and the first couple weeks of running your charger, you'll know whether you got a good one pretty quickly or not. And now guys, I'm going to show you my favorite portable charger of all time. It is the iSDT Q6 Plus, the 300 watt edition, and it charges up to 14 amp and up to a 6S battery, from 1 to 6S. This little guy is a beast, and it's super small. It also has a nice voltage range on it from 9 to 32 volt. A very capable charger out in the field. I love this one that it's a little bit smaller than the first cousin, the SC608, and it just has more of a rounded design to it. It does have the fan in the back and the balance port on the side and the built-in XT60 port. So let's go ahead and plug in another 5S battery, and we will plug in the balance lead as well. It's always a good idea to balance charge your battery. I know some people will charge without plugging that in, but this just keeps the cells a little healthier in your battery and manages them a lot better. So now we have the same type of battery voltage on the screen as the Q6 has, and we'll go ahead and start this one. Go up to charge 5S. You can turn that up to 2 amps there. Start the task. And this battery is not quite charged. It's at 62%, and you can see over at the top right of the screen right there. And I can also go into a few different menus here. I can change some things as well. So if I scroll down, it's going to take me through a few different screens here. It's going to show you a lot of information. In here you have the current temperature, how many pieces you're charging, you have all the wattage in here, and how much is in the tank. This is watt hours in the tank. That's a really interesting thing. Up here I have my amps, my current amp, and how many milliamps we're putting into it, the time elapsed, and which firmware it is on this particular charger, which is the Q6 Plus. So I'll go back out of that, and I can change the current amps. I can go up, or I can go down, or I can stay the same, which will do. And I can stop it if I want to just disconnect this battery really quickly without making the beeper go off. If you do disconnect it, it will start beeping. So I'm going to go back there, and now I just have to wait for this battery to charge up. But this one, I can tell you, has been my most reliable field charger. It's been everywhere with me. Like I said, it's been to regular flying fields out in the grass. It's been sitting underneath me at the bench in canyons, charging batteries on the ground, and all kinds of different environments. And this one has pretty much survived everything. So the Q6, in my opinion, is probably one of the best portable chargers out there. Now let me show you another option for your portable chargers. Now you've already seen a couple batteries charging off a few different chargers. We've seen the SC608 150 watt charger. We saw the UP610 by Ultra Power, and that's two great chargers. And like I said, I think the Q6 is probably my favorite out of these three portable ones. But as far as taking a LiPo out in the field, I recommend something like a 4S 16000. And what you can do is take an XT60 and put a cable in between that and run an XT60 between this XT90 there. Just make yourself an adapter and you can pretty much charge with this setup anywhere you go. But my favorite, again, out of this bunch right here is definitely going to be this one first, probably the Ultra Power second, and then the SC608 probably last place there. It probably stays in my shop the most, and I've been taking these two out in the field the most lately. So number 1, number 2, and number 3 choice there. Let's go ahead and turn on the scale and zero that out. I'll give you some weight in case you're really one of those weight obsessed people for hiking. So that one's 125 grams total carrying weight there, and I'll put the Smart Charger on there by Ultra Power, and that's a UP610. The UP610 weighs in at 108, so that one is actually a little bit lighter than my favorite Q6 Plus, which is kind of amazing because I thought the Q6 was probably the lightest thing I'd ever held. And then there's the SC608, and that one's also 108.2 grams. So these two rectangular ones are going to be the lighter designs. Q6 is going to be about 20 more grams, but still remains my favorite in the bunch. Now if you're wanting to use your portable charger as a bench charger, you can also do that, and this is awesome because you can get the iSDT 160 watt AC adapter, and you just plug in your AC port right here. You plug this side into the wall, and it has a built-in XT60 right here that can plug into the side of your portable charger. So I have my Q6 Plus here, and I can just find my input right here on this side, plug that in, and now I can charge from the bench, which is great. So you can do a powered AC source, or you have the option to do a battery out in the field, which is great. And this will also work with the Ultra Power. I'm just going to plug that in and make sure I'm plugging it into the right port there. That one charges up with this one as well, powers up, and the original SC608 as well. You want to make sure I'm plugging into the right power source there. And these do a nice little self-test before they start up sometimes. And that one also works with the iSDT 160 watt AC adapter, so very nice for bench charging. So now we're going to move into what we consider a bench charger. This is a true bench charger. When I first started in the hobby years ago, when we first started charging LiPo packs and learning how to charge LiPo packs was a big challenge. I did have some fires, and you want to be very, very careful when you're charging LiPos, but this is the Hobby King Quattro 4x6. I can charge up to 4 ports at the same time. This is essentially 4 chargers in one, but it does need an external power supply. So you're going to have to provide some type of external power supply source by plugging in these banana plugs right here into the positive and negative lead of a fancy or a not so fancy power supply. You can really spend a lot of money on power supplies, so this is going to be the more expensive route if you decide to do it this way, but it's going to give you like the ultimate charge setup. So if you want to charge a whole bunch of batteries at once, this will be a great way to do it. The Quattro 4x6, right now I've had this charger for over 5 years, and it's still probably one of my main chargers in the shop, but the fact that it does need an external power supply is kind of a bummer these days, because the Q6 and the more portable chargers just really make things a lot easier on us. You don't have to have something so big in your shop, but if you want to charge many batteries at once, you can also use a balance board or a parallel board like this. Plug in your balance lead into one of the ports, and you can have up to 6 different batteries charging at once. So that's a really nice option if you just want to set up a bunch of batteries and let them go. That's an easy way to do that without having to come back and unplug and plug in stuff multiple times, 6 different times. You can just do them all at once right there. And now we're going to look at something that has totally changed the evolution of chargers for bench chargers, like a shop charger. The Quattro 4x6 is really nice, but it does need that external power supply, which is just one more thing to have in the loop. And this is nice because HobbyMate has made a charger that's the HB120 quad with a built-in power supply. So no longer do you need to have that extra power supply sitting to the right. You have 4 different LiPo chargers basically in one machine here with a built-in power supply. Is super awesome. It does have 4 ports up front right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and each of these are labeled 1, 2, 3, 4 on the top of the board, and each one of them can charge multiple types of different batteries at once. So you can charge your LiFe battery down here, and over here on this side you can charge your nickel metal. So you can mix it up or make it all the same depending on what you want to do. So now you have a little bit of a bird's eye view of this charger, and you can see all these different ports here, and it does tell you 1 to 6 cells on these chargers, and you can do nickel metal cadmium, you can do PB, you can do LiFe, you can do Lions, you can do HV, and you can do your standard typical LiPo batteries. But you can discharge from 0.1 to 5 amp if you're discharging. If you wanted to do that type of current for your discharge, you can do in between that range. And for your charge current, your max charge current with this charger is 10 amp. So all the way up to 10 amp, and you can do 4 of these up to a power of 100 watt per channel here. So you do have quite a bit of power with this built-in power supply. And whether you're in the US or the European Union, you have 110 volt for America and 240 volts overseas. So either way, this can handle either input. Now just go ahead and show you, this charger comes with a whole bunch of different adapters. It comes with a ton of different balance ports, and I'll just go ahead and plug in one here. We'll plug into number 1, and it says balance socket. That would be a balance port. And you take your battery lead, and we're going to find the XT60 because we're going to use that same battery we used before. We go ahead and plug in the lead there, and now we'll go ahead and set up for the 5S battery. So we're going to do a LiPo, we're going to hit it again, we're going to change that to 2 amp. We're going to hit it one more time, that'll take me to the next selection. I can change my cell count, go over to 5 and select start again. Now I'm going to go ahead and plug in my XT60 there and my balance lead, plug it into the 5S port, and I'll go ahead and hit start. And if you press and hold start, it's going to start that charge. And now I'm charging at 2 amps, and once it gets up to the maximum voltage for this particular 5S battery, it's going to beep and let me know that it's all done. But this one doesn't give you all the fancy readout like what you have on the portable chargers like you saw before. But it does give you cell voltage there. You just have to scroll back through the menus. It doesn't give me a percentage. So we have 21, that's the ending voltage, 21 for a 5S battery, 21 volts. Input power voltage, the temperature, the cutoff, the timer, capacity cutoff, and you can change all of that if you want to. You can also set this up to do an automatic detection of what type of battery it is. So when you plug it in, that the charger already automatically knows what type of battery is plugged into this. And aside from 4 XT60 leads, you also do get 4 different Dean's plug connectors as well. So if you have the old school style batteries with the Dean's plug connectors, you can charge those types of batteries as well. And you do get 4 balance boards along with this charger. So for the price, this is not a bad charger for a bench charger. It's nice because you do get everything built into it, but it does weigh 3.5 pounds. So it's definitely a beast. It does have a lot of options, and it does actually consolidate a lot of things here. So it's basically 4 chargers in one with a built-in power supply. So it does take a lot of stuff off the bench and combine it into one unit. So I think they did a good job with combining old school technology and bringing us up to date in 2018, sort of a built-in power supply with something like this. Now it is a pretty big charger, like I said, but if you want max charge on your bench and you want to have tons of power, this is a nice charger. Now if you want to get rid of the old school and start with something new, this is great, but this one is a little bit more pricey than something like this. Now you can also go with portable chargers, like I said before. The old favorite right now is the Q6 Plus.
Plus, and this is my top charger right now. And number 2 would be the Ultra Power charger, the UP610. And I'll try to put a link down below for these and the HobbyMate multi-charger. You can check out the specs on this one and decide for yourself whether you think this is kind of a direction you want to go. This does weigh 3.5 pounds, by the way, so you're not going to lug this one into the backcountry, but for something more portable with a lot of different options, you can go with the Q6 Plus. Now this one also can take an input of a DC input from 11 to 18 volts here, so I can plug in an external battery to this one and power that power supply. You're just going to have a really big battery to do that, something like the 4S 16,000 milliamp battery. But that's it for chargers now, guys. Now you might have a better idea of where we have come and where we're at now with the built-in power supply bench chargers and the portable chargers. Hopefully that gives you a little better understanding of what's out there for the hobby and charging your LiPo batteries. But thanks again for watching the Drone Camps channel. I'm Justin Davis, and as always, if you have a friend who needs some help, please do help others and support them in the hobby and move it forward, guys. Pass it forward. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.